What's up YouTube? Capital G here, checking out a brand new disruptive trap card that just got revealed coming out of Rise of the Duelist. This is a Draconian Prison of Snow and Sky, and by the way, I love the artwork of this card. Shout outs to the lore. In case you're wondering, Trishula definitely won that fight. You know he won that fight because he freezes the entire dual terminal world at the end of the DT1 storyline. So yeah, I'm gonna say he definitely won that fight. Anyways, this is a normal trap card. That's a hard one to return. It says target one monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but negate its effects, if any. Then you can banish two monsters on the field that have the same type, one from each player's field. So this feels like a fairly solid trap card, but I don't think it's ever going to see high levels of competitive play, and that's perfectly fine. There are a lot of excellent trap cards like Lost Win and Crackdown that don't see high levels of play, but we know that they're fantastic cards. When I look at this card, I think it's going to be fairly easy to potentially get double disruption out of this card, just because like typing specific cards aren't really that difficult to work with. You guys know basically since like the Zexal era of Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami has made everything pretty archetype based. There are way more examples of your ABCs and Zodiacs and Trickstars and Altergeists and Salamangrates than there are, you know, hat decks that we just kind of threw together. For the most part, everything is archetype based, and within these archetypes, a lot of times it's just one type. If you're playing against Shadows, there may be a couple of other monsters that are not Spellcaster, but for the most part, it's going to be Spellcaster. I'm looking at this card and I'm thinking of ways to disrupt my opponent, not just by taking a monster out of their graveyard, which you can definitely use that. It can kind of serve as maybe a slower DD Crow in that instance, but in addition to that, when that monster is summoned, if you're playing one of those archetypes like Salamangrate or Altergeist or Shadows, where pretty much everything is one type, now I can banish a monster on your side of the field, and that's non-targeting. And keep in mind, the fact that I have to banish two monsters on the field really isn't a problem, because if nothing else, I can just banish the monster that I just Monster Reborn. So in situations like that, I could be basically taking out two birds with one stone. Let's just say you're playing a deck like Salamangrate, you got a Sunlight Wolf on field, you're trying to summon Jack Jaguar to its link point. That's a pretty basic Salamangrate play. I could easily Monster Reborn your Jack Jaguar and then banish the Jack Jaguar and the Sunlight Wolf both at the same time, basically stopping both effects with just one card and having excellent disruption that takes a monster off your field at the same time. This could also be used against like Shadows. If they try to activate the Rest Shadow trap card to Monster Reborn one of their monsters, I can take out that monster and maybe take out a window on their field simultaneously. Even if you're just looking at a situation where you want to stop one of your opponent's monster attacks, you can just Monster Reborn a random monster from their graveyard, and if they're playing one of these type specific archetypes, you get to banish the monster. So it's even just going to be a 1-for-1, but the monster in the graveyard you're also going to banish is just kind of it's a little bit of icing on the cake. This is a slow card because it's a trap, of course, but at its ceiling, it basically is a DD Crow and a non-targeting banish of one of your opponent's monsters, and I feel like that definitely is valuable. And I don't think that you can run this in a super fast deck. I think that you do need to be playing the control game, but I don't know, I feel like this card is maybe just a hair lower than cards like Crackdown or Lost Win, just one of those very valuable trap cards. And it kind of just goes without saying that this card can be ridiculous in the mirror match, where you guys could all be playing the same type and it could get absolutely nutty. But overall, I think that this is a fairly solid card. Probably never a card that will see tons of meta play, but that does not make it a bad card. The ceiling of this card is fairly high in my opinion. Anyways, whatever you guys think of a Draconian Prison of Snow and Sky, you leave that in the comment section below. If you would, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up so that other people who are not subscribed to me can actually see the video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.